right, and what went on in our lives, or what went on in the business world, or whatever it is, the previous week, and we take turns doing it. Well, this week I was originally going to speak on, Mother Nature and the changing of seasons, and moving forward, and past, present, whatever, right? I was going to talk on that, and I still am to a degree going to talk on Mother Nature. But I woke up this morning, and quite honestly, I was almost in tears. And I'm still going back and forth. So if I cry, y'all don't laugh at me. But no, it's just on who we're being as people. And I'm gonna speak on this, and take it with a grain of salt. Paul, bear with me here. But I've been seeing all these posts, right? And it's really bothering the crud out of me, and I'm sure you guys as well. And I try really hard to stay out of the news, of anything negative and whatnot, because just quite honestly, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody deserves their opinion. We don't have to force it and push it on others, however. So some of that being around politics. I don't talk politics with people because I'm not kidding you. There's people out there that want to, ban their friends and family, and, push people away because they don't think like them, or they have different ideas, or they're brought up different, or whatever. We all have a right to a choice, right? And God bless us all for having a right to that choice. That is part of democracy. That's one. Religion, same thing, right? Just be who you are, choose what you want. But recently, it's around the hurricanes, right? It's around Mother Nature. It's around people, and some of the posts I've been seeing are just casting stones, and not doing anything themselves about it, myself included. I'm not casting stones, but I'm not doing anything about it, right? But there's people that are going through things that the rest of us are not. There's people that their lives have been, torn apart, uphill. They've lost family members with Hurricane Helene. Now we've got Milton coming. And I've got branches and people that I know they're in Florida. I've got family members in the Keys. I've got, friends and family all along Florida. But here's the thing, guys, just because it's not hitting you, I'm in Colorado. I don't get hurricanes. It's not hitting me, but it is hitting me. It's hitting all of us, right? So be more gentle, I guess, with our judgments of others. Maybe come together and look outside ourselves. I have a tendency, and I'm sure all of us do, to kind of get caught up in what's going on in my own life, and maybe the injustices, or the disrespect, or the whatever that's coming down towards me. And I can get caught in that and forget, or not think outside the box. Let's all think outside the box. Maybe there's something we can do. If y'all got suggestions, reach out to me. But yeah, for those of you that are in the line of Milton, for those of you that are going through Helene's aftermath, or anything else, God bless you all. Anyway, sorry, Paul, I did a rant.
No, so my brother lives in Orlando, and he's preparing. He's never had a direct hit hurricane before, so I definitely, and my mom's over there as well. So it's definitely, it's taking a different turn this time than, hey, you live in Florida, that's what you get, right? Like, how many times have you heard that? And that probably makes you mad. I totally get that, and I get that. I live in Washington. I look out my window and I see Mount Rainier. When that thing blows, see you later, guys. I'm gone.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Mother Nature is not discerning, right? It's not discerning on where it hits. It could be anything. This just happens to be the hurricane, and it's going along. But my goodness, people in North Carolina had no idea that it was going to come up and do the damage that it did. I think the big picture and how we bring it all together, though, is what goes on in nature is no different than us personally or business. Think about it. We all want to sit there and say, oh, woe is them, or sad. Oh, that's too bad, business wise, right? It could happen to anybody. And all of this affects us. Even what's going on in Florida, it affects you, even if you're in Washington, or if you're in Montana, or wherever it is. This is going to trickle down. And just let's all think outside of the box, or think outside of ourselves for a bit. So,
and I'm going to say something that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but I do that every day. And that is, please don't give me your sending my prayers and blessings. That doesn't solve anything.
Right. Well, and you can, because I do believe, our thoughts and energies and whatever do help, and all that. But hey, yeah, agreed. Action,
Sorry.
action. So yeah. Anyway.
Well, kind of using the hurricane analogy to move into our first story. There is a SBLC out there that. So what I did is I pulled the numbers. What did you do the first day of the new SBA year? And oh my gosh. So Lindustry SBLC in one day did 47 SBA e-trans submissions for a total of $10.0 million in one day. Interesting. I wonder, like, is there a strategic reason for that? Like, I don't know. I look at numbers and I always try to, think about the what ifs on there. And
oh, wait, do you think about the end of year, Paul? I'm going to stop just for a second, because think about the end of the year on if somebody actually goes December 31st versus January 1st.
That's true. So incentive sandbagging. Okay, fair enough. That's, all right. I mean, let's be real. I would do that too. So, okay. And Newtek 28 loans at 7.9. So I think they have something to say about their thing on there. And other things I wanted to share with, and again, I like looking at data and I kind of nerd out on that type stuff. There is a bank out there. I will just tell them that thank you. They did a $10,000 SBA loan. Now, really? Couldn't you do a credit card? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's pretty small. That's pretty small. Maybe I need to put together a smaller loan program and do something more. But 10,000 is a little deal. But thanks for doing the small loans as we need. So really quickly into the year, Nagel came out with some stats on there. So we as an industry did $31.1 billion in SBA, the second highest in the last 12 years. So 2021 was the big dog at 36 billion. And so we're at 31 billion for 24. So it'll be very interesting to see what we do in FY 2025. Who knows, with interest rates being what they are and going down, and there's still a lot of baby boomers, so it would not surprise me. You can record this for next year. I think we will probably be at least 23 billion would be my guess for 2025. So, and last but not least, they offer early default rates, 1.01% of SBA loans with an early default rate. Again, early default, first 18 months, 1% of the overall portfolio compared to 0.30 back in 2022. Ooh. So they're increasing. We're in a different world. So heads up.
Well, and look at what Ray said. He considers this our best year ever. I would agree with you, Ray. Here's why. 2021 was the first year after the craziness, right, of the pandemic. And so things were coming back around. We had extra funds out there. We had the EIDL loans. We had PPP, all that fun stuff. This year this past year is really one of the first years that it's just been business. It's been what it is. So I agree with you, Ray. It's our best year ever, personally.
Yep. All right. What you got for the next one, Tanya?
Oh, well, we're going to talk about average annual default rate by industry from 2018 to 2023, and it's regarding acquisitions versus small business startups. Now, anybody that doesn't recognize, I'm sorry, do we really need to put this up as far as a visual here that doesn't recognize?
Have some starting SBA lenders that still think startups the way to go. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Now, I mean, there's certain things that, maybe you got to start because you got a brand spanking new idea and whatever, but risk-wise, let's just chat there, right? So if we go into this here, let me pull this up a little bit bigger. If we go into this, I mean, it's talking, let's see here, general freight, trucking, local, that type thing. It's pretty much the same whether it's a startup or it's an acquisition. Well, that should probably tell you a little bit of something there, as well as landscaping services, right? And they're up. The default rate is up. I don't know how many you've
2.5%.
gotten. So many in transportation and landscaping that I have had come across my desk as of late. So many.
Yep. Scary.
Okay. All other general merchandise retailers, obviously, startup, way more challenging. I mean, they've got to figure out the market. They've got to get their resources. Marketing is huge, by the way. So that's definitely higher default rates when it comes to startups. Plumbing, heating, and air conditioning contractors. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but once I find a really good HVAC person, I keep going back to them because I really don't want to go try to find somebody else.
Bob in a truck does not necessarily
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. And honestly, many times for me, now I'm not talking these big HVAC companies and whatnot that work commercially, but residentially for dang sure, because that's what I know more about as a consumer. I don't know who owns it. All I know is who shows up and what service they give, right? Yep. So obviously, if you're starting it new, it's going to be a higher default rate. All other specialty trade contractors. That's kind of interesting to me. Do you find this one interesting a little bit, Paul?
That one's interesting. Yeah, it's backwards. So it's better to start up than buy. And I think my initial thought on that would be, reputation in this industry
100%.
is absolutely critical. Yep. And if you're selling your business, I don't know, what's your reputation? Because that's really what you're buying.
100%. And sometimes in that one, when specialty. So let's just talk about like my cabinet guy that I use for 2 houses to redo all my cabinets. And then after the second house, he just disappeared. It was the craziest thing. Didn't come back to finish anything, whatever. Now I referred him out to everybody up until that point. And now I don't have very nice things to say because it was the craziest thing ever. Same thing when you're buying. You have no idea what they've done to their customers and what you're buying into at times. So anyway, that one's just surprising. It's the only one that's backwards. General automotive repair, obviously. I mean, same thing with my mechanics. Once I find a good one, I'm going back. Yep. Beauty salons. Now, holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on Lender Match. Guess how many beauty salons or med spa, that type thing came across. It was, at least 3 out of 4, if that makes sense. Yep. So this is really a surprising one. 2 were startups. So this might make
for those who don't see the graph, 1% default on buying and 2.5% default on starting up. Ouch. I mean, I'll be honest, that's a high risk industry to begin with.
It is, yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
You don't want to say more? Come on. I've said so much on this show already. Come on. Why not just throw some more out there?
Under the table.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one is childcare services. Not surprising. Again, you start trusting somebody when it comes to your child for dang sure you're going to keep going back versus somebody that starts up and you don't really know what you're getting. But anyway, I found that pretty interesting. And I know Paul did, because one of the things Paul wrote on here is buy a freaking existing business. That's what Paul wrote. So I'm supposed to say that, apparently.
That's right.
Got it. How was that one, Paul?
That was good. Well, let's jump into what would you say again. Thank you, Andrew Longcore from Acquisition Aficionado magazine. This is kind of where we're getting a lot of this stuff. Make sure to get your subscription if you don't have one. It's a great magazine and support. So this week's, all right, here we go, Tanya.
Oh boy.
Over 90% of our customers are repeat customers. I don't necessarily see that as a benefit.
Oh, and why not, Paul?
Well, when you hear this and see that other business hasn't grown much profit over the past 5 years, it means I don't have a clue about marketing and sales, and mostly hope and pray that customers will come back.
Well, and that is true. And you know what I've seen? And this is what I know you do as well as I do. When they're coming in either to acquire these businesses or whatnot, oftentimes that's what you see on the business plan and their projections is they're increasing the marketing. They're increasing marketing, and that's how they're going to get the new revenue moving forward. I don't know.
Yep.
Do you see that? That's what I see a lot.
I would agree with that. I also think the industry makes a difference. I mean, if you're like a manufacturer and 90% of your customers repeat, okay, fine, maybe that's a good thing. It depends on how, it's like a mutual fund, how many funds are inside this thing. If you're a retail, maybe okay. I mean, industry does make a difference.
Industry makes a huge difference. Yeah. Not to mention, as you would say too, is the current owners, how are they ready to retire?
Right.
As in, they aren't doing anything. They're just over it.
Like, get the hell out. Right.
Anyway, okay, what's the next one?
Our patented technology is super valuable. Well, you're right. It is. But hey, Tanya, have you ever tried to repossess a patent?
Oh my God, I get that. I do get that. They're like, but you can lien the patent. I'm like,
no, you can't. I mean, yeah, you can. You can lien a patent. Yes.
Well, you can, but what does that really do for you if something were to happen? From a bank perspective, really? We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Any banker out there to read a true patent and take a look at it and see if it makes sense to you. We know the value of a patent for our business, but having a patent rarely adds millions of dollars to a purchase price. Very true. Translation, I paid a lawyer a lot of money for these patents, and I want to see a return on that investment. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, Buttercup.
We need to combine those two. Those of you with the patents need to actually have the higher marketing.
Correct.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, we'll let that one go. Go ahead and close this out, Doug.
We will. All right, guys. If you want the news as soon as it breaks, go ahead and join us here on LinkedIn and or YouTube for live, I guess. If you want to get it and catch up later on your streaming platforms, any of your podcasts, just go ahead and find us on any of those. We are there. If you are, a happy-go-lucky in the SBA world, follow our other family of podcasts, which is the Art of SBA Lending and the BDO Show. If you are in, let me go down here because, my states, I don't know about yours, but my states keep growing. But if you're in Washington, Oregon, or Idaho, reach out to Paul there at Gisa Credit Union. If you are in, shall I do this by memory? Colorado, Missouri, Texas, Florida, Arizona, now Tennessee and North Carolina. Yeah. Then go ahead and reach out to myself here, Tanya Mazurek at Midwest Regional Bank. We would love to help you out. And let's see, what else is there? I don't think, did I get it all? Did I get it all?
You got it all. Yes, you did.
He loves to mess with me after that. I refuse to memorize anything and do it exactly right. Because, that would just be going against Tanya Mazurek. Anyway.
That's
true. All right, guys, we've had fun with you. Please go out there and kind of look at others, and let's all try to be nice and, I don't know, think of others this week.
That's right. Make it a great day.
Make it a great day.